God has a way of changing how you are perceived. In Matthew chapter 12 and verse 18, it says, "Behold my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall show judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the street. A bruised reed shall he not break, and smoking flax shall he not quench, till he send forth judgment unto victory. And in his name shall the Gentiles trust." Jesus was changed from just a young boy that was recognized as the son of Mary and Joseph, to now one that bears witness of the word, one that resembles the word. For even the apostles declared that we have handled the word, we have seen the word, and they're regarding Jesus Christ and the life in which he lived. But the life didn't stop with Jesus Christ. He came to give us life, that we may have life and have it more abundantly. So he also gave that abundant life to us. He shared it with us. And so in Matthew 12 and verse 22, it reads, "Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb. And he healed him, insomuch that the blind and the dumb both spake and saw. And all the people were amazed and said, Is not this the son of David? But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, This fellow doth not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. And Jesus knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand." So you see, God has a way of changing you beyond the perceptions that people place, the titles that people will give you. And although you may be the person that everyone knows you as, God has a different name for you, a different title, a different integrity, a different position. He doesn't want you to stop at mediocrity. He wants you to excel into perfection. And I know for a lot of you, you're going to dwell on perfection and say, well, no man could have perfection, right? Yeah, but the thing is, it's all about what God has called you to do, and were you able to do it? Look, everyone's calling is different. And if you think the word stops at the Bible, you're absolutely wrong. God continues to speak, and God will continue to show his people what is expected of them. There's going to be some people out there that God says from their very youth, I never want you to touch an alcoholic beverage. I never want you to have a tattoo. I don't want you to ever go into a party. Or I don't ever want you to be with a man or a woman. These are things that God could give unto an individual. And for a lot of you, as you're judging what I'm saying, you're saying, well, why would God say something like that? That's kind of mean. God is all about liberty. God is all about sharing your love. But there are certain callings, a need for every individual, a path that everyone has to walk. It says the people were amazed. Amazed at not only what Jesus did, but in the fact that they thought they knew Jesus, and they thought they knew what he was capable of doing, and yet he exceeded their expectation. So that upset them quite a bit. And we knew that upset them because they began to regard his power, and rather where he derived the power. They believed that Jesus Christ went to the extent of calling on Beelzebub, the prince of the devil, in order to gain this ability to heal and to save. And Jesus, looking at them, understood their thoughts. Now, when he mentions, or when the word mentions he understood their thoughts, he knew that it didn't come from a good place. There was no need for Jesus to ask them, why do you think such things? Jesus knew it came from an evil place within their hearts, a place of jealousy, a place of rage, a place of darkness. Jesus chastens those thoughts and says, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So Jesus says plainly, a person that is in darkness cannot deliver someone to the light. It's not in them to do. And hopefully you guys are starting to understand, well, how is it that we see people of the world doing good things? They're doing good things, not spiritual things. That's the difference. And that's why God says that your good works are not enough to get you into heaven. You have to follow what God has called you and told you to do. There's no excuses out there. If God were to come up short on his promises, then that would mean we could come short of our promises. But because he fulfilled every word, and he never murmured, he didn't complain, but he just did it, he's expecting the same from us. For he says he doesn't need a servant to be greater than the master, but like the master.